जीवन में कभी कभी ही ऐसा होता है कि आपको कुछ विशेष कार्यों के लिए लगाया जाए। वैसे ही आज मेरे लिए बहुत ही सौभाग्य का दिन है कि मैं यह वीडियो तरु मित्रा के लिए बना रहा हूँ। धरती पर रहने वाले सभी व्यक्ति द्वारा उठाए गए छोटे कदमों के माध्यम से हम बहुत ही आसान तरीके से पर्यावरण को सुरक्षित कर सकते हैं। इसी क्रम में तरु मित्र भारत में पारिस्थितिक संवेदनशीलता को बढ़ावा देने के लिए एक राष्ट्रव्यापी छात्र संगठन है। यह पारिस्थितिक मुद्दों पर समाज के विभिन्न वर्गों को संवेदनशील बनाने के लिए अभियान चला रहा है। इसकी शुरुआत 1988 में भारत के पटना में छात्रों द्वारा की गई थी। संयुक्त राष्ट्र ने 2005 से तरु मित्र को एक विशेष सलाहकार का दर्जा प्रदान किया है। इसके 1000 से अधिक उच्च विद्यालयों और कॉलेजों में 2 लाख से ज्यादा सदस्य हैं। तरु मित्र के पास विदेशों से भी पूर्णकालिक स्वयं सेवक हैं। जब मैं शांति सदन पहुंचा तो हमारी मुलाकात फादर रॉबर्ट एथिकल, जो कि तरु मित्रा के फाउंडर हैं, उनसे हुई। फादर रॉबर्ट 50 बच्चों का नेतृत्व कर रहे थे, जो कि पटना के त्रिभुवन स्कूल से आए हुए थे।
Ecological. Okay. We have a camps for various students, different schools, coming here for 2 or 3 days.
Acha, they are coming.
Yeah. So tomorrow morning, the oldest school in Allahabad, they will join us.
They will study.
Yeah.
उन बच्चों का कैंपिंग इसी शांति सदन में किया जा रहा था।
सर इसको रिकॉर्ड करो।
This largest students forum for environment right now in the country got the special UN consultative status in the year 2005. Father has represented Taru Mitra not only here in Prayagraj but in all parts of the world. And now it is our responsibility as Guru Dakshina that what we can give back to Mother Earth. This is an eco camp. Over here I would also like to extend my heartiest greetings to Father Pius, Father Joy, the rector of this place, we will meet him very soon. Father Felix over here, who is taking care of all the food, the lodging, everything over here. One word for all the senior volunteers, especially Pranita and Sadre Alam ji. Thank you for being here. अब आप लोग सो नहीं सकते हैं, क्योंकि ये लोग भी कोई नहीं सोएगा जब तक ये लोग घर नहीं जाने वाला है. And also I would like to mention and thank all the staff over here, the cooks, all the other non-teaching staff, because they are taking care of a lot of things over here. Only for some time we would be here. And it's my honor to have among us the chief guest, Mr. Sarabjit Mukherjee, Professor of English from the department. And he is from Allahabad University, the legendary university of our country. It's an honor that we are here. Then we are having 5 teachers, as I told you, sir. Principal ma'am is here. Better half of principal ma'am is here. He has a CCTV everywhere right now. And to say more about the camp, I would formally ask the Green Man of India, Father Robert, to kindly आप अपने गुरु वचन से कैंप का शुरुआत करिए to promote the universal sense of oneness, one earth, one family, one future, Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam. Welcome to Prayagraj, welcome to Shanti Sadan, the Tribhuvan School.
You have listened to this again and again, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. But that's a concept which is threatening the earth today. In the sense, it breaks down all the international barriers. All the countries' the boundaries are being broken down. The earth is one, and Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The whole earth is a family, and that is written maybe around 5,000 or 6,000 years back, maybe from the same place where you are sitting. A Rishi who lived here by the banks of the Sangam, and this city is perhaps the oldest city of North India, before Varanasi. This city is perhaps the most known as a holy place where Ganga Jamuna ka Sangam hota hai. So this is a place where you are sitting and you have taken bath in the water. That water is coming from the Sangam. We have a pipe, a boring which is 300 feet below, and therefore it is drawing water from the Sangam. So you are right away having Sangam water in your room. The water you are drinking is Sangam water, and it is purified by the earth. It's about 2 kilometers from here. It is coming through the earth and getting purified of all the human contaminations. And so we are sitting here now today, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the whole world is one family. And Father Pius, Father Pius is the superior of the place, he is my boss, and he is a scholar, top-notch scholar. And we have Devapriya. Devapriya, where are you?
She is coming, Father.
Okay. Devapriya, she is a coordinator of Taru Mitra, and she organizes a program. And if this program takes place here, it is because of her. She has been following it up with Mahua ma'am and the staff members all these years, all these months. And we have with us the tall figure, Aarti ma'am. Aarti ma'am, she taught you yoga this morning. She got up at 3 o'clock in the morning and did a 1 hour yoga herself in her room. And after that she joined you and to help you to breathe in and breathe out well. And we have Pranita ma'am. She is a teacher in St. Teresa School in Bithia, and she is standing there. She was in Tarimitra from her class 6, so she has had a lot of experience. And then you have Khan sir, you have Sadri Alam sir, and then we have Indu ma'am, no, Neetu ma'am, and we have to get your names, ma'am. Sonali Sinha. Okay, and then Sargam ma'am. Okay. So Anand sir, He's a miller. First class miller. So we could have had this inaugural ceremony in the hall. And it's freed from all this noise, all these, you can hear the cocks crowing. Kokara koi. So you could have said that. But then Taru Mitra camp is going back to the earth. Going back to the earth, and today we have invited Professor Mukherjee from the Allahabad University, from the Department of English, and Dr. Mukherjee is known for his scholarship. And I just wanted to ask him if he could talk to you something about nature poet. Who is nature poet? Nature poet. William Wordsworth. William Wordsworth. So he will be speaking about that plus other things. So welcome, sir. Yeah. And a large-hearted man. That's what he is. Best way to introduce him is a large-hearted man. And we would like to have that glimpse of that large heart, sir. And sir, I think it's your name? Prashant, sir. Prashant, sir. Yeah, okay.
We have some special, natural souvenir for you from Father Tony Pendanath, Director of Taru Mitra in Patna. So here in front of all of you, to the Green Man of India, I am just gifting him Rudraksh, the holy bead Rudraksh, Teen Mukhi, Sindoor, the original Sindoor. बच्चों के लिए नहीं है, but for the senior teachers here. You have the original vermilion over here, and also you have the red lucky seed. So these seeds are from Patna Taru Mitra Bio Reserve, Father, your place that you started. And this we can do the green inauguration over here, which sir is also covering very nicely, via you with the green campus of the Tribhuvan school. Yes, this is from our garden, and officially now I welcome Principal cum Director, the Sarve Sarva of the Tribhuvan school over here to kindly honor Father with the and also felicitate our chief guest of the day as well.
Good morning, all of you. At the outset, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to Father Robert, who has given all of us an opportunity to be here and experience to live in nature, such a natural and beautiful campus. So thank you, Father. I suppose you all know Taru Mitra. You all have been to Patna Taru Mitra. Some or the other. How many of you have been to a Taru Mitra? Okay. So rest of you should visit the Taru Mitra camp also. And Father Robert is the founder of Taru Mitra. And Taru Mitra, I think for the environment, the sensitization, the awareness, lot of things. It's the only eco-bio reserve in the state capital of Bihar. And we are lucky enough to be with Father, stay here with him and learn about his experiences and learning. So thank you all of for giving these children this opportunity. I also extend my thank for Professor Sir is here all the way to meet you all and give his vision, give his wisdom of words for you. Thank you for taking out time for the children, my children here. It's an honor for all of us. Thank you. And children, this is One Earth just Father told the national boundaries. So one earth, why? We all countries nowadays are, rapid economic development. We understand that industrialization, economic development is very, very necessary, isn't it, for one person to grow? The luxuries of life. But at the same time, if we go for those things without taking care of our Mother Earth, what will happen? This is the home. This is a home for all of us. And if we don't take care of our home, one day, slowly, what will happen? It will get destroyed and the existence will be in danger. Our future generations will not have this, all pollution. Just imagine so many vehicles, if trees are cut and pollution level is going up, so many diseases. So what will happen? We will not be able to live a healthy life. And if we don't live a healthy life, what happened? We will not be, first and foremost thing is we have to stay healthy. Isn't it? To enjoy the luxuries of life. And if we don't stay healthy and we don't protect our Mother Earth, our existence will be in danger. And children, the pollution or all these whatever harm, destructions, it doesn't know the boundaries. Why? Because suppose India is doing a lot of care for its country, and the neighboring countries, some country, they are not doing. China is not doing. It's going for rapid industrialization without taking care. So what will happen? The pollution which will come here, the impact, the ozone layer which is getting destructed, it doesn't know the boundary that this is India, this is China. So okay, India is very, very careful, I will not enter India. So that is why it's one globe. So all countries, everyone, each one of us who live in this planet have to come together, join together to protect. And we need to sensitize. I think this is your first experience. Many of you would be surprised yesterday, this type of living you have not experienced, isn't it? Eating, taking, serving at home, you are in a comfort zone. Your parents do everything. And when you go travel, you are traveling in a lot of luxuries, isn't it? But this is also a learning, children. So how you eat, how you clean your utensils, you should be self-dependent. You should not be always dependent on others for everything. And we should learn to live in the natural, environment. ACs, all of you, some of you are feeling, I think AC nahi hai, this nahi hai, nahi. But you should learn to enjoy, beta, everywhere, everything is not there. So whatever is the situation and in natural environment, learn to be happy and enjoy this. Okay, always comforts are not available, and all comforts, there is a negative impact. Too much of ACs also are, creating, it's an ecological camp. It's also, damaging the environment. Rapid industrialization, damaging the environment, pollution. So we are not realizing, we are only bothered about ourselves. But if we see in the next coming generation, if it happens going on, the whole earth will be destroyed. So you all are the future citizens of this country, I suppose. You need to who will take care? We have to take care of our home, isn't it? So we should go for rapid economic development. It's not that, but we should go with a sustainable development. We should take care of our earth also at the same time, isn't it? Thank you. Thank you, Father, once again. Nimrana. This year we have inaugurated our college, Nimrana, that is Tribhuvan College of Development Science, Environmental Science. So this small token of memento from my college. Thank you, Father.
We have Father Pius over here from Shanti Sadan, and Father takes care of all the eco-spiritual classes, all the retreats. So I welcome Father Pius over here. You would be getting some goodies, but that goodies is your very important dastavej, and that is from the school. All of you, I kindly request our chief guest to kindly come and hand it over to all the students one by one, kindly. They all can come row-wise, one by one. Just two more guidelines before I ask our chief guest to address this gathering over here. Boys and girls, this is your first time. This is not a hotel, as ma'am said. That was also in the WhatsApp group. I saw that. This is home away from home. Okay. You all are responsible for yourself over here. Individual responsibility, then collective responsibility. Now within 1 minute you all will be coming back when I will ask you to come back. You have to decide one group leader. One group leader. Each and every group is going to have one leader. Now just a suggestion, who is the most talkative one, the most indisciplined one, that I hardly doubt through one school, you can make them the group leader. We have 5 nominations, the youngest one for our camp leader, PM. Now you will just tell me why you are suitable for being the camp leader. Ladies first, I'll start with you. Just in one line, that why I am the best group leader, camp leader, PM over here. And based on that, we would be doing the voting. Is that fair enough? Yes, ma'am. Fair and lovely? Fair enough? Start.
Ma'am, because I am good in leaders.
Don't tell me, because they have to give you a vote. हम vote नहीं देंगे, हम note देंगे. Talk to them. Convince
Because I am
them.
good in leaders. 1 year back, I am in this school, St. Joseph Convent High Secondary School. I am also the leader. I am going to the Taru Mitra, so I am also the leader in the Taru Mitra. That's why. I am the best. That's why I want to be the leader. Whenever you give me a responsibility, I can do it in a better way.
I am the best leader because I can do things.
Because we are the younger ones.
We call it chota packet, bada dhamaka. Right. So, how many of you will vote for this alumni of St. Joseph's Convent? इधर उधर मत देखो. You can blink. आप बोल सकते हो कि market feed वगैरह दे देंगे. How many votes? 5. Okay. How many for him? What's your name? अनमोल. हमारा पीएम कैसा होना चाहिए? अनमोल रत्न होना चाहिए. So how many for अनमोल? बर्थडे का ट्वीट मत देना जमाएगा. How many for अथर्व? ट्रेन में जरूर पार्टी मिला होगा. I'm telling you. How many for you? Veer. How many for Veer?
They don't fear you. Raise your hand as your friend. You don't have to pay for your friends. Raise your hands if you feel.
Anybody left? Vipra. वैभव means धन, संपत्ति, समृद्धि. सोच समझ के वोट करना. संपत्ति भाई. So unanimously, who is our PM? Atharv. And the assistant PM. Your name? Mahira. So बाकी तीनों बच्चे चले जाइए. Sir, we would love to listen from you. May we have a huge round of applause for our chief guest of the day. Mr. Saravji Mukherjee from Allahabad University.
Very good morning to all of you. And I thank Father Robert, Father Pierce, Principal Ma'am, the Director of Tribhuvan School, all the faculty members, and the entire group of Taru Mitra for having me here today. It's a great pleasure for me to be interacting with children because the students that I teach are blasé, they are, senior people. It is always a great pleasure to see this kind of freshness, this kind of enthusiasm. And I am particularly grateful to Father Robert for having asked me to be here, because one of the papers that I do teach to our PG students, postgraduate students, in both the third and the fourth semesters, is called Literature and the Environment, right? So we try and draw parallels between the kind of literature being produced at a given period of literary history and the environmental thought which was prevalent at that point of time. And I won't go into that because with you, I would like to begin with a little story, you see. Now, a very proud dad sent his very bright son, called Ketu, to some very eminent professors, right? And he asked them, he left his son with these professors for 12 long years. And he told them that, see, you teach my son the best that there is to be learnt. After 12 years, the son came back. And the father said that, son, have you learnt everything that your professors taught you? He said, yes, father, I know everything that there is to be known. So he said, you're sure? He said, yes, I'm absolutely sure. So the father asked him, but do you know that there is one truth behind everything that you have learned? So the son said, he was quite conceited, well, if there is any one such truth, and my professors thought it important enough, I'm sure they've told me about it. So the father said, go and get a fig. Gular samajhte hain na? Anjeer kehte hain ya gular kehte hain. So he said, go and get that fig from under that tree. So, you see, this is the season when the fig fruit ripens. So he got a fig. And he told his father, the father told his son, break this. So he broke it. He said, what do you see? So he said, I can see very fine seeds inside this. If you break a gular or a fig, you will find very fine semolina-like seeds in there. So he said, get one out. He got it out. And he said, the father said, break this little seed. So this little seed, no bigger than a grain of semolina, was broken by the son. And the father asked Ketu, what do you see? He said, nothing. So he said, the father said to his son, that in that nothing is this huge fig tree, right? So he said, there is an essence of which all of us are the part. Tat tvam asi. Thou art that. This father was the Rishi Uddakal, and the son is Ketu, and this comes from the Chandogya Upanishad, right? So, you see, as we live in the world, as we grow older, this feeling of wonder, how does it happen? How does this flower know that this is the season for it to bloom? How does it know? How does the mango tree know that this is the time for the blossoms to come? These are wonders, these are mysteries. But as we grow older, we forget about it. You see, we take it all for granted. So today, I would begin from the point that the environment and engaging with the environment asks us to do at least three things. One, learn new things. Two, unlearn a few things. And three, look at things from a new perspective, right? So what are these things that we need to learn? Let me first talk about that. Then we'll talk about the things which we need to unlearn, and those things finally which we need to develop and generate a new perspective for, right? As we just saw this is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, also from our ancient texts, which talks about one earth, one family, which has been recently revived for the G20, right? Now, I want you to think of your journey yesterday, right? Some of you must have been looking out of the window. Many of you, if you were allowed to carry mobiles, must have been looking into your mobiles. So those of you who looked out of the window, what did you see? You saw fields, you saw buffaloes, you saw occasional trees, you saw closer to the railway line ditches where white water lilies were blooming. You saw pampas grass with white, feathery blooms. And those of you who were looking into your mobiles saw influencers, saw stand-up comedians, saw YouTube shorts. So what are we saying? There is a divide between nature and culture, right? Eons back, when humanity turned towards settlement, once we gave up being hunter-gatherers and started living in settled villages, the beginnings of technology started. We started with plowing the ground, so the plow was started, the wheel was invented. So at that point of time, what was technology doing? Technology was working in consonance with nature. If I had to build a wheel, I took wood from a tree. And there was just so many wheels as I could build because the settlement was so small. And so few people needed, let us say, wheels for their bullock carts or whatever. But as we progressed, as we moved down history, this technology became more and more complex, right? Very often, all of you are history students and you know that we were under the British rule for 200 years. Have you ever asked yourself, why did the Britishers have to come to India? Why did they have to go to Africa? Why did they go to Australia, to New Zealand, to Solomon Islands, to the Caribbean? Why? Why weren't they doing it earlier? And why had they, had to start doing all this from round about the late 16th and 17th centuries? My dear students, this is because of the logic of the machine. The Industrial Revolution had started, and the machine has its own logic. If I have, let us say, I want to set up, let us say, a unit to produce mixies, for example. Initially, I need to have capital. I need to buy a piece of land, I need to set up a building, I need to have some kind of energy source, I need to employ a certain number of people. That having been done, the mixies are now being produced. Now, the factory that I have put up will not allow me to produce one mixie. Machines are geared up towards mass production, right? And for mass production, we need two things. Raw material on the one hand, a market on the other, right? So when the British started expanding and building this empire on which the sun did not set, what does it mean? The British Empire was so big that it was sunrise in one part of the British Empire and sunset in the other part of the British Empire. It was that great. Why did it have to start? What was the logic behind the British Empire? The Industrial Revolution. Factories had been set up. What was required was unlimited amount of raw material and unlimited amount of market, right? People to buy. Even today, you have a pair of shoes, doing well enough, but advertisement, peer pressure, constant, hoardings and things that you see motivate you to buy more. A better pair of shoes, this will be this way, this kind of sole, this kind of you see, color. This is for jogging, this is for walking, this is for training, this is for what else? What is happening? You are being motivated to buy. Because, why are you being motivated to buy? Because that happens to be the logic of the machine. Raw material on the one hand and the market on the other. So the first thing that we note is that there is a divide between nature and culture. For some time, you see, what humanity was able to do was to harness the forces of nature for the betterment of humanity without harming humanity, without harming nature. But as the logic of the machine kicks in, you demand more and more of technology. You demand more and more of market goods. You want better and better things, you see, and they tell you, this is better. You need this. You just have to have this. And we are motivated to buy. So, you see, this business where human beings were adapting nature for their own enhancement, we call this the pastoral. As I said, when you were looking out of the window, you saw fields, you saw people, bullocks, you saw buffaloes. What is this? Nature has been harnessed to human use, right? Now, this nature, now I'm not talking about culture, I'm talking about nature. This nature was viewed rather ambiguously, right? On the one hand, are you familiar with the idea of the epic? An epic is a long narrative poem, generally dealing with a national hero and dealing with warlike activities, which has got something or the other to do with nation building. One of the first epics which were ever written is called the Epic of Gilgamesh. And this was written in what we call Iraq today. And Gilgamesh, you see, the protagonist of that particular epic, talks in the most negative terms of the wilderness. See, जंगल के खिलाफत में बात करते हैं कि ये वो जगह है जहां इंसान खतरे से खाली नहीं है. See, this idea of the wilderness being inimical to human beings comes to us also in Germany. Till the late 19th century, the German word Wolden meant the place of beasts. The jungle, the wilderness, was a place where beasts lived. As opposed to the city, where people with culture, with people with, you see what we would say, nafasat and tehzeeb live. So what happens is that the wilderness is then viewed with a certain amount of ambiguity. But also remember that in all the ancient faiths, the wilderness is an important trope. Whoever moved out to seek God moved into the wilderness. You have the ashram system of ancient India. After the Grihastha ashram came the Vanaprastha ashram, where older people left to seek God in the forests, right? If you were to look at the Old Testament, you would find that people withdrew from the world, the prophets, they withdrew from the world. They moved into the wilderness to seek God, right? Think of Gautam Buddha from your part of the world. See, not sitting in his palace and seeking God, but seeking God in the wilderness under the Bodhi tree. So the spiritual aspect of the wilderness was also important. So now we have two divisions, wilderness on one side, pastoral on the other side. The wilderness being viewed sometimes negatively, sometimes as a place of retreat and spiritual regeneration, and the pastoral being the place where nature has been modified in order to help human beings. As human civilization progressed, the wilderness became a place which was considered to be unimportant. It was not feeding into the benefits, the so-called progress of the human race, right? And here we come to know, to understand another kind of concept which you need to understand when you're looking at the environment. And this concept is resource versus commodity. What is a resource? This tree is a resource. You see, the water which Father was talking about is a resource. These are things which God has given us for free. All of you are old enough to remember the Corona period. You may remember what a struggle it was to get a cylinder of oxygen. So many people died because oxygen was not available. Remember, each of these trees is pouring out oxygen into the atmosphere and not charging you a penny. Oxygen cylinders are sold. Bisleri bottles, water is sold. What is happening? A resource, a God-given resource, is being converted into a commodity. What is a commodity in that case? A commodity is a natural resource which has been bottled, packaged and marketed. जब किसी रिसोर्स पर हमें कीमत लगा देते हैं और कहते हैं कि अब तुम इसे खरीदो, ऐसी चीज जो खुदा ने आपको बरकत के हिसाब से दी हुई हो, वो क्या हुआ कि वो रिसोर्स से कमोडिटी में तब्दील हुई, राइट? धीरे धीरे ऐसा लगने लगा कि जो कुछ इंसान की जिंदगी को बेहतर न बना दे उसकी कोई अहमियत नहीं। I can chop down this tree because I do not believe that it is doing anything to me right now. I do not see that it is providing the oxygen which I am breathing. Right? We are all into mobiles, we are all into computers, we are all into whatnot. Where are these chips coming from? These are silicon chips. Where does silicon come from? Not from anywhere else but nature. So please remember what, you see, Svetu was told by his father, that our deepest needs, our very existence on the earth is dependent on nature, right? So these are things that we need to learn. There are also some things that we need to unlearn. And one of the main things that we need to unlearn is ye dil mange more. You see, we want more and more things, and it's not your fault. That is the way the system is. The market demands that you buy, that you spend, right? Now, remember, if I were to give you a bucket of water and say that keep pouring this out, after some time, that water would finish. The earth is finite. And economics tells us that every human being has n number of desires. The moment one desire is fulfilled, another desire kicks in, right? So can you imagine an earth with billions of people living in here, with billions and billions of desires? All of them are dependent on this one finite earth in order to fulfill all their desires. This can only happen if we move into sustainability. When we decide that we have to follow what are called the 3 R's. Refuse. Do not always feel that the next mobile phone is going to be better, next generation computer is going to be more satisfactory, the next pair of shoes is going to give me more pleasure or comfort. If we keep on doing that, you see, if we do not refuse, there will be no end to this kind of desire which will ultimately impact the earth negatively. Right? Reuse and recycle. Whatever, you see, just now I met a very fascinating gentleman introduced to me by father by the name of Mr. Banaras. And he showed me so many, you see, a bottle of sugar-free, which he has converted into a socket. He showed me a discarded bottle of Vaseline body lotion, which he has made into a multiply. What is he doing? He is taking what you and I consider rubbish, adding just a little bit of technology to it and making it something which we can use every day to make our lives more comfortable. This is what sustainability is. You see, remember, you are here today. Nature has no garbage. See, ये जो पेड़ पत्ती जो भी गिर रहा है ना, ये किसी की खुराक है. The leaf which falls down will become, it will crumble, it will become food for ants and other decomposers, it will enrich the soil. But the plastic that you and I throw on the earth, this will never enrich the earth, right? So you and I produce garbage, but there is no garbage in nature. So we need to relearn, we need to rethink, we need to see how nature works and how we can put ourselves in consonance with nature, right? Now, when Father introduced me, he said that he would like me to talk about Wordsworth, the nature poet par excellence. Now remember, Wordsworth, or indeed the entire Romantic movement of which he was a part, began when the Industrial Revolution was taking over England. More and more land was being taken in for factories and industries. And you see, those areas which used to be open, which used to be green, which used to be clean, those were all being now taken in what was called the enclosure of the commons. The commons were being taken for the putting up of factories. And this is the time that Wordsworth wrote about the importance of nature. He says that when I began, I used to just look at the beautiful aspects of nature. आप और हम जाते हैं गर्मी की छुट्टी मनाने पहाड़ में कि हम पहाड़ नेचर के खूबसूरत पहलू देख कर आए. Next, he says that in nature I found the nurse, the guide, the guardian of my heart and soul. As he grew older, he began seeing that nature has another purpose beyond just the decorative or the pleasure-giving. And his third stage is when he sees, you see, humanity linked with nature. And I will close with his quotation. And hearing oftentimes the still sad music of humanity, neither harsh nor grating, but of ample power to chasten and subdue. What is this music of humanity? You see, the music of humanity is the music of shared suffering. This Vasudev Kutumbakam that you are seeing out here. This is a thought which says you and I may look different, we may speak different, we may eat different, we may pray different, but there is one truth that all of you, that all of us are going to share, and that is the idea of suffering. So let me end with another story, and this is a story of Kapilavastu, where a widow woman with one single son came to Gautam Buddha and laid down the dead body of her son at the feet of Buddha and said, "You are this great seer, you are this great sage, please revive my son. I am a widow with nobody else to support me." And Gautam Buddha said, "Mother, I will bring your son back to life if you get me one fistful of sarson, you see, from any of these houses of Kapilavastu." And Kisa Gautami from the morning till night went from door to door. And everybody said, "We are willing to give you the sarson, but death has come to this house." So when she went back to Gautam Buddha, she fell at his feet and she said, "Now I know, I am not alone in my suffering. I am part of the family of suffering. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. We are all born, we all follow the same trajectory, and we all die. And therefore, there is no question of there being boundaries. If I'm fighting a war in Ukraine, its effects are going to come to all over half of Europe and Asia. If there is, you see, right now we are suffering from El Nino, no rains here, rice fields drying up right from Manila to, you see, across Punjab and everywhere. Why is this happening? because of the amount of heat that we are pumping into this atmosphere. It will not go away. It's going to be in this atmosphere. It is going to harm the natural cycle. This is what we need to be aware of. These are the things that we need to know when we become environmentalists. Thank you very much for your patience today.
Write down whatever you feel like. It will stay for you with you. That moment, whatever you feel, you should write.